Single Suitcase. All they had with them was a single suitcase. Bella and Stefano had been joined at the hip ever since Bella was born. Her older brothers stood at their mother's bedside as Bella entered the world and was the first after their mother to hold her. As a 5-year-old boy, he felt their bond but never truly understood it until they both grew into adults. This bond only strengthened after the fire that took their mother, their belongings, and the life they knew before. Bella had mentioned moving to New York months ago. She had wanted to become a chef, and Stefano hadn't put down a camera since he first picked one up 7 years ago. They had storyboards, vision plans, and 5,000 saved. Not as much as they had planned. There was no time to process any grief. It was time to go. It was a beautiful Wednesday afternoon when Bella and Stefano arrived at George Washington Bus Terminal in Washington Heights, New York City. They both walked down to the subway, purchased Metro cards, and then took the A train to Brooklyn. The train ride was 1 hour and 10 minutes. They got off at Lafayette Avenue and walked towards their new home. Stefano had found a small one-bedroom apartment for the time being. Once they arrived, Mrs. Nunez, a 73-year-old widow and landlady, greeted them and showed Bella and Stefano their new home. The apartment was small but cozy. Bella felt at home and Stefano finished signing their lease while Mrs. Nunez explained about the front door key trick. Bella looked around the apartment and threw herself on the bed. "It's good to be home," Bella said. "Would you like to join me for dinner?" Mrs. Nunez asked. Bella and Stefano said, "Sure." The three of them walked up 2 flights of stairs to Mrs. Nunez's apartment. She showed them to the living room and offered them lemonade. Mrs. Nunez came back with 2 cups and spinach and cheese empanadas. Bella and Stefano were very hungry since they traveled for 7 hours on the bus without having had a real meal. "Where are you both from?" Mrs. Nunez asked. "We're from New Hope, Pennsylvania." "Never heard of it," Mrs. Nunez replied. She placed it on the table. More spinach and cheese empanadas, rice and beans, rotisserie chicken, and mashed potatoes. Bella was amazed at the food's presentation, and Stefano was ready to eat. All 3 of them sat down around the table, serving themselves, passing dishes, and they ate dinner. The food came alive around them. Colors Bella had never seen, stacked each on top of each other. Once a bland potato bowl. If you've ever seen the movie Hook, you'll understand the reference. The bite clinging to her fork, which levitated frozen at the entrance of her mouth, boasted a plump bite of spinach empanada. The crusty golden edges making her mouth water, her tongue salivated over the bitter taste of the spinach as her mouth closed down around the heavy morsel. Across the table, it was clear. Stefano's experience was matching her own. He graciously held a cob of corn to his mouth, eyes bulging as he clamped down on the juicy starch. Only Mrs. Nunez remained composed, clarifying that the colorful food was a typical part of her diet. She ate with precision and dominance. Watching Bella was soothed. If she ever doubted her trust in the woman, it was now solidified. The fine lady's eyes flicked open to meet Bella's awestruck stare. Mrs. Nunez smiled gently and took a particularly savorous bite of roast beef. When they were done with their dinner, they went back home. They were very tired from an exhausting day, and they went right to sleep. When Bella awoke the next morning, she had a fever and had to stay in bed all day. She felt really sick, but as always, Stefano was there to help her make her feel better. She was lying in bed next to him, taking sips of her hot, delicious soup, when she realized Stefano was sleeping. In that moment, she thought how lucky she was to have Stefano and how much he had taken care of her today. With this bittersweet feeling covering her, she closed her eyes and drifted off to sleep. Stefano awoke in the middle of the night to find Bella peacefully sleeping, and he was happy that he could help her when she was sick, just like she always helped him. He felt the feeling he had felt so distinctly all those years ago and finally understood his bond with Bella. They stuck with each other through thick and thin, and they supported each other no matter what. And that is what made them great siblings and even better friends. The end.